Let's make it happen. This is a beautiful place. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us. This amazing conversation. As well, thank you for your time, and welcome to First Row podcast. We're here with Armando Uribe. He is the founder of Weave Studio. Weave Studio is a firm that helps develop builder, architecture, entangle stories, with purposeful projects, right? And so thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, my friend. And I think the most important thing, it's the love that you put into your work, your heart, which this is something that we want to speak to you. We want to get to know you today. So I have to say, I really appreciate your time. Yeah, welcome to First Row podcast. We're here with Armando Uribe. He is the founder of Weave Studio. Weave Studio is a firm that helps develop builder, architecture, entangle stories, with purposeful projects, right? And so thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, my friend. We've known each other for a few years already, and we had many interesting conversations. You're also a philosopher. I love that. You love to bring and connect philosophy with the art that you do, and architecture and spaces, right? And I think the most important thing, it's the love that you put into your work, your heart, which this is something that we want to speak to you. We want to get to know you today. So talk to us a little bit about your past, like your childhood, like where did you grow up, where are you from, how everything started, your parents, you have brothers, sisters, tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Well, I was born in Mexico City a long time ago, 1975.
Okay.
And I have a brother. He's almost my age. He's almost less than 2 years younger than me, and he's a wonderful human being as well. And my childhood was a beautiful childhood, actually. I lived in a cul-de-sac street, so there was no cars. The rhythm was really slow, and it was really close to a park.
Okay.
So it was really easy for me to access nature. As I was telling you, that was one of the directions that I've been following since I was a kid, really.
Yeah.
Because I was exposed by that, even being in a city that has park that you can have access to, that you feel safe as a kid.
Yeah.
It was a privilege. And that's how I grew up. When I was 7 or 6 years old.
That was Mexico City.
And I used to go also to a house. We used to have a house in Morelos, around the golf course. So every weekend we would go. And also we would experience these contracts between the city and nature.
Nature, yeah.
And the golf course, it's like a kind of like a carpet, no? But you can still feel and the
essence,
the feeling and the smells and the humidity, And so it gave me the sensitivity. My parents were related to that. They like to be in nature. They like.
What did your parents do?
My father was he was a system designer, I would say. That's the way to call it. No? He used to work for information technology. That's basically what he created. No? Then it was not as connected as it is now. The technology was a little bit different. The computers were a little bit different.
Of course,
But he was creating that. He spent all his life creating systems to make a business for a multinational company better.
Amazing.
To understand better how the flows of information and logistics and that.
Yeah.
So he thrived there. All his life he worked as that. As a
very cool, man. I didn't know
and
that.
as a project creator, because at the end, when they were creating systems, they were linked to projects. No?
Yeah.
And just these last few months, I've been remembering this phrase that he gave me at a point in life where I really hated the phrase.
At that time.
I
don't understand your phrase. Your phrase, Dad. But now I understand. After 50 years.
That's how it is. The phrase was very simple. The simple is un proyecto es un proyecto. A project is a project, he said. And I said, no, come on, the project. I was angry because I thought, no, the projects have to be about. It's not about the product. It's about the impact of the project.
Yeah.
Right? It's about what kind of project are you actually wanting to put together, because whatever, no, to destroy the earth can also be a project.
Yeah, that's true.
But he also has a point. Like when you're actually going to create a project, it's simple. You have to create a context where you have people, collaboration, resources, certain plan, certain guide, discipline, continuity, and eventually it's you're sitting in the project.
He gave you that structure, let's just say. You know, what about your mom?
Oh, my mom was dedicated to us in the house, but she was such
That's a good balance, old school balance. Yeah.
And she was actually very, very into spiritual growth, into personal internal growth. In a moment that I don't remember anyone else around that was doing that. So for me, it was a kind of like there was this idea that my mom was a little bit crazy in a good sense.
Yeah.
But she was doing meditation, yoga, therapies.
That's really
when
cool,
I was a
man.
kid.
Yeah.
So she gave me that kind of basis. I was a kid, and eventually, when I grew up in life, I found that was really important to pay attention to the way we feel inside, the way I felt inside, and the way I can actually put attention on how to transform that.
Yeah.
And so far now, I'm 50 years old. It's been a life journey, and I know that it's going to continue being like that.
Yeah.
As we grow, as we expand, we enter into a more sensitive aspect of ourselves, and there's always more and more. It's really infinite. That's when you realize.
What are your parents' names?
Berta y Armando.
Berta y Armando.
Same as
Armando.
mine.
Nice. I had one of my aunts, one of my mom's sister. Her name was Berta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She passed away though. She passed away. Rest in peace, my tia Berta. She was I was her favorite nephew. Let's just say, for all my cousins that are looking. Sorry, you know. What about your brother? You have a brother, no?
My brother is Rodrigo, and he's going to be turning 49 in January.
Okay.
So he's almost my age. We're really close.
We're very close. So you guys were close together.
We grew up together, and at the same time, we were very different energies. Very, very different energies.
Okay.
But I can see now, especially now when we're older and we speak, that the values are the same.
Are the same, of course.
Very grounded.
Yeah.
The same values that I have are very grounded inside of him. So
Yeah.
eventually, now that we're older, we talk, and it's a very clear resonance. We're pretty much in tune when we talk, and we
That's
respect
amazing.
each other and love each other.
Yeah.
We don't see each other that much because he lives in the other side of the country. He lives in Baja.
I'm back.
But I really respect him and value him a lot. He was.
Well, we've been talking about doing something in Baja.
Yes.
This is last year, man. So
Exactly.
we never know. Reconnecting.
That's right.
I feel you because I do have an older sister. Her name is Yesenia, and she's about a year and like 9 months older than me. And we're both quite the opposite, but in the values and family and everything, we're quite the same.
Sure.
She's like my best friend. She knows everything. She's like she knows who I am, how I am. It's like we're apart, but we're like it feels like we're twins in some sort of way.
Is it at the end, it's something that I realized also. Like there's no other human being. In my case, it was the same as you. You have only one.
Only one, yeah, only
Same.
one sibling.
So there's no other person that had the same perspective to my life than him. Right? He was right next to me. There was the seat right next all the time. Whenever we went up and down, whenever there was crisis or joy in my house, we both lived the same situation from different perspectives. No?
Yeah.
So it's also very interesting to speak about that and then see how he lived it and how I lived it. And it's amazing how different we integrated it in our lives. No?
Rodrigo, right?
Rodrigo, yes.
Yeah. And what does he do?
Well, he studied something that is called Golf Management Business School.
Okay.
It was actually business, golf management business with a specialty in marketing.
Oh, cool.
And it was a very strange program because he studied 3 years in Barcelona, then 2 years in the US.
Yeah.
And then he came back to Mexico, and since then he's been doing that. He's been working around the business of golf.
Okay.
And he lives in Baja because
Of
that's
course.
the paradise of that.
That's paradise. That's the best place for that, right?
Mexico, yes.
Yeah.
Many really great golf courses.
And you guys growing up, you with your family, from when you were born until you went to college, were you guys the family was together the whole entire time before you went to college, or you guys were
Well,
in
when
one place in Mexico City, or you guys moved around?
we stayed in Mexico City, yeah.
Okay.
But then when I was about 15 years old, my parents got separate.
Okay.
And that's something that really, when it happens, it's a really big crash. No? Because
Yeah.
I remember listening to people going to that experience and thinking that's such a tough thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I never thought that was going to happen in my house,
Yeah.
but it did.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that, everything changed, no?
Yeah.
And then when I was about 20 something, my brother moved away. He went to study in Barcelona.
Okay.
I still stayed in Mexico City.
Yeah.
And eventually I also left.
Yeah.
When I was 28, I left.
Yeah.
Also
That's when you went to
Australia.
Australia.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you had to go back right now and point out what are your values or principles that you got in your childhood, what would you say that the core, the things that the pillars of Armando Uribe, you know, coming from your dad, your mom Berta, you know, like what are the pillars that your parents have left you?
I guess the family, to be able to have experiences that are navigating or orbiting around a family core, like a house where you can come back and you know there's always going to be love and food and wisdom.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was free. Like I was used to go to this place in Morelos, as I told you. So I was able to, from a very young age, I was able to get my bike and just ride out.
Have that freedom.
Exactly,
Yeah,
freedom
yeah, yeah.
and play with kids in the golf course or in, exactly
Yeah,
freedom
yeah, yeah.
and play with kids in the golf course or in a level of freedom, but also have the feeling that I was always gonna come back to a place that was really, really well taken care of, no, by
Yeah.
both my parents. They both
Yeah.
did a really, really great job in that sense. I can see that now. So grounding that, you know, the family, friendship, community. I really felt like I was a part of a community that included my family, but other families as well.
Yeah.
And also nature. You know,
Yeah.
at the end, it's also like being able to have the opportunities to wake up in the morning and feel the breeze and listen to the birds.
Yeah.
Coming from Mexico City, you know, that was right now. I mean, as I grew up, I never felt at ease in Mexico City anymore. It was difficult for me to live in that city, but mostly it was because of that, because the nature is not so. It's not breathing there, you know, and you can understand it now as we know that there's 40 something rivers.
Yeah, that's
flowing
crazy.
there, and
yeah,
they're all-
that's what you said to me, that they were, you know, we'll touch that base at a certain time. But man, that's a crazy.
That's a big.
It's a big thing, man. I cannot believe that. You know.
Yes.
I want to ask you, you know, and just to sum things up, and my train of thought just went crazy right now after you said that comment, you know. But I was gonna ask you, anyways, it completely went away, that thought. To wrap it up, you know, that the part with your parents, you know, and your family. Anyways, let me get back to that one. Corte comercial free, that one. I had a brain sort of freeze, you know, pero you know, before we go into the present moment and you go into college to Australia, you know,
I went in college in Mexico City.
in Mexico City.
So I studied architecture in
I
Mexico
remember
City.
now.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. You know, I was gonna do a recap of
Yes.
of you growing up. You know, yeah, you have a beautiful contrast. You know, with your dad Armando, you know, having this working in this like structural business, right? And then you have your mother, right? That was very into nature, yoga, meditation.
Exactly.
You know, you have these two contrasts that came in with fundamental of your home,
Yeah.
right? That created your values, Armando. And for the ones that don't know Armando, you know, he is that person. You know, a balance of your dad and your mom.
Yes,
You know, it's you're very spiritual at the same time. You're very structural. You're very focused. You know your things. You know, so it all makes sense, Armando. You know, no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to hear. You know, especially when you understand, you know, where we come from. I think
Sure.
it's a beautiful thing.
Especially when you accept it, no? At the end, parents they do their best, and I 100% sure that they give the best that they could, no? All the love
course.
they could. Now that I'm a father,
Yeah.
and I have a 9-year-old kid, it's like the love that you feel and the
But she's
connection that
doing
you
great
build.
in soccer.
Yeah, she's really
yeah,
great
yeah,
at soccer.
yeah, yeah.
But you do our best. I mean, it's like it's overwhelming the amount of love, or sometimes,
Yeah.
and the amount of connection that you feel for that kid, and you always want the best, and you try, and sometimes, or many times, you commit mistakes,
Yeah.
and it's okay. I mean, the mistakes are great, and in the context of creating a project,
Yeah.
that is a very valuable tool as well, because sometimes we don't dare to do things. No?
Yeah. So talking about projects, where did you said you went to college in the University of Mexico,
Yes, in Universidad Anáhuac in Mexico
Anahuac,
City,
in Mexico
a
City.
private university.
And how did you say, okay, I'm going to be an architect, or I'm going to start building, or I'm going to do this? What did that start?
I don't remember when it started, but I can say that it started when I was really, really young. I mean, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Every time that someone asked me, I would always say the same thing. There was no doubt.
So you already knew since you were a kid, you're like, this is what I'm going to do.
I'm going to go for architecture. Yes.
You were connected.
Yeah, space. I think spaces and gardens and atmosphere and color and light and materials. And
That's
it was
great.
always in my interest. No?
I had the same sort of thing. I told all my uncles and aunts when I was 14 years old that I was going to build them all a home. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said it boldly, to everybody. It's like, I'm going to buy you a home. I'm going to build you a home. Like everybody,
Yeah.
And ever since then, I mean, I don't have a responsibility to do it, but I still feel like I'm going to do it.
Yeah, why not,
I don't know. It's weird. I
Yeah.
have this little thing in the back of my head,
Yeah.
So it's good that you had that purpose since you were a kid.
Yeah, yeah, it was very clear. And for example, when you're in high school, you have to choose. The last year, you have to choose. It's called areas, no? So I think there are 4 areas, and one is físico-matemático.
Okay.
So you have to study that area. Like it becomes like it organized in 4 different groups, and the group that I studied was físico-matemático, so that you're ready to then go to architecture
Okay, cool, man.
in school. And then, as I told you, in my 28 years old, I decided to continue. Because I thought I didn't know anything,
Yeah.
and I was very bored at studying and working in different architecture offices in Mexico City, and I needed a change.
Yeah.
And that's what took me to Australia. No? So a few people inspired me, and I knew that they were doing great in terms of relating architecture and natural processes,
Yeah.
and light and rivers and humidity, and the ecosystem that holds every space. No?
So you were in Mexico City studying at the university for how many years, and then you went down to study your master's?
Exactly. It was a master degree it was the University of Sydney, and the department was architecture.
Architecture.
But it was the area of the architecture school was design science,
Okay.
and it was sustainable design. That's how it was called.
Beautiful,
Program,
man.
yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was there for a year and a half.
For a year and a half.
Yeah, so the full-time master degree.
Amazing.
And also having a wonderful time, because as I was telling you, it was as much about what I studied in university as much about the culture itself, about what I experienced living in Sydney. They were very, very much alive and oriented to wellness, to good food. There was a culture from all over the place. People coming from all over the place of the world, wanting to live in Sydney and experience that beautiful atmosphere. So that in itself was also part of the experience. It was you were related to people from all over the world, and there was a lot of surfing. That's what I surfed, and I learned to surf.
Incredible,
I really
man.
love that.
Yeah. You said something very interesting before we started the interview. You said that Sydney was had the same vibe as Tulum.
Yes,
Sort of thing.
Definitely, yeah.
Can you elaborate on that one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
it is an amazing city, man. And you as an architect, you see a vision. You have a vision, right? And I feel like people don't really understand, what architects do, or especially the good ones like yourself, right? They don't really understand that when you close your eyes and you open them and you see something, you can actually bring that to life.
Yeah,
it's like that's like how to. You have all the tools and structures to bring that to life. So, so elaborate on that. What you saw in Sydney and you see in Tulum, what is that?
Well, I see many of the elements that I experienced in Sydney then, in 2003, that are kind of emerging in Tulum right now. And probably the big thing to say is that there's still a really good balance between the nature that is still breathing, the land that is still raw, and the built environment. In the last few years, that has changed a lot. That we built a lot of built environment that, from my perspective, doesn't add any value to the city, because it was mostly designed for, the value behind was greediness. And the model used was a very outdated model, which is the model of extraction. We create a project and we tell a story, but in the backbone, what I want is to take as much money as I can as fast as possible and leave. And that's basically what the general model, the economical model, capitalism has created in the world. No? So in the last few years, that's what we have lived in Tulum. But still, even if that has happened, the balance of that, the balance of the ecosystem that is still alive, and you can see it as you move through space, as you move through the city.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. One of the biggest things that I could feel the same in Australia. This rawness, together with built environment.
Yeah.
And the other element of that is very similar is the amount of people or the amount of cultures that we see. There's people from all over the world, 100, I think, nationalities living and visiting Tulum.
Yeah.
So that in itself is also contributing to the way we do things.
So we have a lot of ingredientes, a lot of ingredients.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
To be an incredible city.
Definitely. I think Tulum has all the potential. What I'm going to say is something that Sydney didn't have, which is human presence for 12,000 years. Wow. 12,000 years, Yeah. Mayan eventually became a culture, in this region. But so there's culture. There's a way. What that means for me is that these guys, this human presence that have understood how to live in tune, how to live in balance with this particular field, with this particular ecosystem, no?
Yeah.
That is expressed in the beaches, in the mangroves, in the jungles, in the cenotes. Huh?
Yeah.
So they know how to fine tune ourselves and our culture with that. Mm-hmm. Lately, we have been out of tune. Really, like Tulum is out of tune, and
I feel like we have an area. It's an area of opportunity.
Exactly.
Because I never see it as a problem. I see it as an area of opportunity. It's evolution. Because who are the ones that take control of the evolution? It's the people that, first of all, have the courage,
yes,
and have the vision,
yeah,
and have the power to actually do it too,
yes.
Right? And collectively, as visionaries, as power, as people that are doers, right? We can still have the area of opportunity to change that, right? Because that model, that business model that you're talking about, of abstraction, it's just simply not working. At least in these areas, it's simply not working. It's not going to work, and we just lived through it. We just went through it.
Yeah.
And the ones that were on their backbone giving a story that was not a real story. They just went to abstract. They're not here no more. Right. And the ones that have been impulsing Tulum to be something that, as a visionaries, that we see the potential of Tulum. Yeah. We're still here. Yeah. And we're still fighting, and we're still we haven't taken our eye off the ball. We're still persistent. We're still, moving forward. We're still bringing great projects to life. So I feel like the area of opportunity is huge, is big, and I think we're doing a great job. For the next decade, I feel like we're going to be having a lot of good, amazing projects coming out in Tulum. Sure. I feel like it's going to come out,
I agree.
Yeah.
Here, and it's in our hands.
Yeah.
It's definitely in our hands.
Talk to me about your present moment. What does the present moment look for you like now? You have your son. Your son, it's very important. His family.
One of a big project also.
Big project, right? Yeah. And I know you have your son. You also have a Weave Studios, right? And what is Armando up to today?
After living in this region for 11 years and having done amazing projects, I can say, like projects that have been wonderful experiences, a wonderful collection of experiences for me and for many people involved. Art House, Jungle Breeze, Pura now, Pura, which is my latest grounded experiment, I would say, which is still going. Something that I'm focused on now is to really, really use all those experiences as a base to go to the next level. And that next level definitely links or is related to the effect and the impact that we can produce in Tulum and potentially, I would say, in the planet, because the interconnectivity that we have now is just fantastic, and technology is showing us that. With its, of course, with its flaws, no, the technology by itself is not going to do anything. We are the ones who have the technology in our hands, and the first technology that I believe we have to develop is this technology, you know? The technology of self,
Yeah.
who we really are, what we do, how we think, how we feel, how we act, how we create our discipline, how we create our projects, how we
Your values, your principles.
Exactly.
Modify them too, because maybe we don't have the best. We didn't have the best childhood role models, but we have to modify those principles.
Yeah.
It's up to us
exactly
to see what we can do, right? To get those things better. Yeah.
right. Yeah. It's in my hands, no,
Yeah.
to make this project the best outcome possible
Yeah.
in my life, no, in the life.
So you're doing a lot of spiritual work currently now. Like you went through a few things, right? I mean, it was a Weave Architectures now are Weave Studios, but in the past it was Wave Architectures.
That's right. Yes,
right.
Yes, that's right.
So what was the evolution on those?
Well, there was a moment in my life that I felt that it was really short. What I was doing was already, it was like a suit that was
Not
felt more like a
tailor-made.
trap.
Yeah.
It felt more like a jail for me. Even though it was beautiful, you're still moving in nature, and I have my son, and I have my team, and I have my office, but it's like I don't like this anymore. I have to break again. In the same way that there's a rabbi online that speaks about how the lobster, at some point, it grows too much and the carcass is tight, so she starts to feel pain.
Yeah.
And she needs to break the carcass and go to the cave, break the carcass, and allow the new carcass to get formed again.
Right?
And that happens several moments
Wow.
in the life of a lobster. No? So I think that also happens if we dare to go in and allow that process of being destroyed.
Yeah.
Which in a way is what it gets destroyed is what it doesn't. It's not only serving our own higher purpose.
Sorry, I didn't catch. What animal was that?
The lobster.
The lobster.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that one. I have the philosophy of the mythology of the eagle. Every
Yeah.
45 years,
Yeah.
the eagle goes up. Take off the nails, peak, desplumarse, and go back. To live another 45 years or 40
Exactly.
years.
But the beautiful thing about the
lobster, I
lobster is
didn't
that
know
it
that.
happens
Wow,
several times.
several times.
in the
Wow, I
life.
didn't
So
know that.
our life, if we're there to do that, Buddhists call this bardo also, no? On and off. We even when this model of economic model that we follow, the conventional capitalism, economy itself, the way it was carved, that concept of economy, implied that there was a line that goes like that. No? So it means that we will always go better. But that line, that graph, doesn't show the ups and downs.
The ups and downs, of course.
and the cycles.
Nobody sees the downs a lot. Everybody sees sort of the ups,
And in a way, I think we have been living in a society where we are scared about that. We're scared about showing ourselves the way we are. We're scared about our vulnerability. In that way, we don't grow. So at some point, it's too painful enough. It's too painful, and we have to break.
Yeah,
and that's what I went through.
So everybody, yeah.
And I asked for it, actually. I wanted to just reconfigure myself completely.
So Wave Architecture, the cycle, the cascara breaks. You're like, you just break through it.
Yeah.
And then Weave Lab comes along, and what's the vision for that? Now currently, what are you up to?
Well, Wave got to a point where we've already proved ourselves, mostly me, and also I understand some other people recognize that we have created amazing projects, right?
Yeah, you guys have Pura Homes. You guys collaborated with Art House.
Exactly.
You guys did
with Jungle Breeze. We did Dadle also, Los Amigos de la Esquina, which is another very innovative project.
Yes, that's a great project. Yeah.
And all the things
great
we have.
Community project.
Yeah.
De la Esquina. Yeah.
All the projects that are grounded and all the ones that we envisioned they're not grounded, because also sometimes projects don't go through to reality, to material world. But all of it has been for the same purpose, to create meaningful impact in humans and meaningful connections with nature and animals and plants. And now I know 100% that it's completely possible. So because this, I build / destroy because I want to extract money fast and leave. And then I paint it green, you know, and eventually the truth comes about, you know.
Exactly.
So that game, then when someone wants to move away from that, the typical thing to do is to then save trees. But that's also very, very superficial. It's not about saving trees. It's about integrating the spaces with the ecosystems and learning how to do that, and with the elements that are more like a music, no? It's really like a music that has rhythm, that has synchronicities, that has beautiful expressions throughout the year that you can feel in the air, in the plants, in the light, in the animals, right?
Yeah.
And we have lost the capacity to see, to observe what really there is in a place, and then play with it, with architecture and with art and with gardening, whatever what we do,
Yeah.
to create something meaningful, so that then we can have a beautiful impact in people's lives.
Yeah.
So now I realized that by having an office that would only focus on architecture, but that will also be perceived as that. You know, when someone comes and wants to create a project here in Tulum, people look for an architect. And I've also seen how the language of architecture is limiting in itself the potential to create meaningful spaces too. So again, it's a matter of using the best that we have learned and using architecture as a tool, but then putting it in a platform, and that's what Weave is about. That is also about connecting or collaborating with experts in different fields,
Yeah.
like you, for example, no? An expert in communication and in channeling the resources, you know. I understand that's where you're aiming with a similar value and purpose that we do,
Yeah.
but with a different expertise, with a specialized knowledge that is also open to be shared with other
Yeah.
people. No? So I think that's what, in order for us to take the next step, that is not about creating our own projects and create our own silos, but also about how we connect them.
It's weaving.
And then we create an effect, a regional effect.
Yeah.
Then it's that, exactly. It's about weaving. No?
Yeah.
And if
We can't
not
do it alone.
people.
Yeah. We can't do it alone, but we could do it together.
Exactly. So it's about good relationships. How do we keep our relationship flowing, independent of the ups and downs, independent of whatever craziness your mind sometimes shows or mine.
Yeah.
And we choose for love, and we choose for co-creation, and we choose to continue grounding whatever we have as a purpose together.
Yeah.
So that's still, I think, very
love it,
scarce.
Yeah.
In general.
Our story, we started, last year we started collaborating an idea, right? It was called Tulum. Remember?
Yeah.
that was pretty interesting,
Really interesting. Yeah.
And at that time it was Wave Architecture. My company was AIM Regenerative,
Yeah.
right? At that time, yours has evolved. I have also evolved.
Yeah.
My company's still in the legal document is still called AIM Regenerative, but I'm launching with this whole thing that I'm doing right now with my personal brand, Félix Cisneros. We're going to be launching FC Capital Group here pretty soon, and which is the association, basically the investment association, but doing these incredible projects. Talking about a little bit about the future to wrap it up. We have a few conversations that we're, from what Tulp was, creating these spaces around town, but everything starts with one. We have to start somewhere, right? And we reconnected again, right? So let's talk a little bit about the future of how things are starting to look up. Because it's not just going to be one, it's going to be multiple things that we're going to be doing, I feel.
Yeah.
Our story continues. But tell me a little bit about what you feel, what you see about the future.
The future of Tulum?
Yeah.
Or the future of my path or your path?
I mean, you are an impact, part of Tulum for now, right? And I know that you have a vision for Tulum, but it weaves with who you are and what Tulum is.
Exactly.
Because I might not be here in Tulum maybe for a long time, but I know I want to leave something in Tulum rooted that's impactful, at least in my side, right? So I know maybe in your side, what do you think that looks in the future for you personally and for Tulum? And we can wrap it up.
Well, for that, I want to go back to one of the initial experiences that I had in my life, because you asked me about when I was a little kid. And when I was 4 years old, my parents brought me for 3 years in a row in September. We went to Cancun, and then they rented a car and went all the way down to Tulum. We drove down to Tulum. And we stopped in different places, Xcaret, Xelha, Xpuja, all these places. And then eventually the last stop was Tulum. And there was, I don't remember seeing human beings. I mean, I just saw these beautiful ruins in front of the ocean. No? And it was just beautiful, extremely beautiful to be there with my parents, walking in between the ruins.
Do you have pictures of that?
My parents, I think,
Wow,
have.
you should get those pictures, man. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, I should go and look for it,
yeah, that's incredible.
So that same feeling, I still feel, even now, in the middle of whatever we have built, and in the middle of the process of transformation that Tulum is going through. I think that essential feeling that Tulum offers is still here, and it's very alive. So, talking about the future, about what I would like to do, and what I'm weaving already, some collaborations with you also, is that the vision is that also, I guess another thing that I have to say is that Tulum, I've observed how it is a great ground to so that when something amazing emerges, it easily finds its way to travel around the world. There are several examples, several projects like Aware is the one that I love the most. My friend Bogdan, he's a wonderful musician, and he's been traveling lately 40 something different countries in this year. They've been doing this for already 3 years, I guess. Him and Matti, sharing their amazing energy, sharing their amazing impact in the world. In this case, it's them traveling and touching people's lives the way they do, with the same purpose, the purpose of people finding connection with them again, so that then we can create something meaningful, a new society, out of that suffering, out of that lack of connection. So there's other examples of projects that have also found their way out in to other places on the world. So I think Tulum is great for that. The moment that Tulum is living, because it's connected to that many people around the world, and because it's still alive, then that would be it's a great opportunity to create a project or a set of projects that have that positive impact, and then that can expand. So when I think of the kind of projects that we are imagining already, I am certain that those projects have those seeds, the seeds that need to be planted somehow, so that the project, when it becomes a reality again, as the project that we are right now, the impact that is being produced is not only going to be an example of how we can develop a place to hold people and to hold experiences and give the opportunity to for the people that will be living those spaces. I don't want to speak too much about it because we're still initial phases. No?
Exactly.
But we will produce beautiful impact in the people who live, co-live, visit the place. No? And at the same time, as we do more projects like that throughout the landscape of Tulum, and we then relate them through the values and through the communication and whatever is happening in all these places. No?
Yeah.
I think that can easily become a model that will expand, and it's a
ripple effect.
Exactly.
Ripple effect, right?
Of a possibility that is still not clear in Tulum, I would say.
Yeah.
Tulum, right now I see a lot of people wanting to do things and open to do things, but I don't see many people having a clear vision, and we hold the vision. I have the privilege to do that, and then the responsibility to make it a reality.
I feel the same way, man, with that responsibility and the vision. I think that's what we share, those moments, right?
Yes.
And I feel it's up to us with that responsibility to say, okay, and other people as well. So there's other people that they're doing this. They have the same vision as well, right? But it's, instead of doing it separately,
exactly,
we have to do it. We have to weave.
Yeah.
We have to weave together and say, okay, let's do it collectively.
That's the next game, I think.
That's the next game, let's do it collectively.
Apart from doing our own project, our individual project, also understanding that my project involves your project too.
Yeah.
And it will be enhanced as we do it together, as we find that rhythm. As in this case, as Matti and Bogdan from Aware, they've met in Tulum, they found each other, and now they create tunes, they create sounds, and their sounds together are magic. And that magic, I think, can be created by groups of people that are
Amazing.
collaborating in time and in space to be able to produce these meaningful places that will plant beautiful seeds in lives of humans. The way you used to say, for many generations to come.
Many,
I feel it like that. I see that this is the game that I'll be playing for the rest of my life.
amazing legacy,
And
man.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
You
love it
guys,
throughout, because
yeah,
it sounds fun also to do it.
yeah. If you guys want to get in touch with Armando Uribe, go like this. Click on the links. Click on the links below, right? And we're gonna post also your Instagram. Your Instagram and your information. And also your website, right? For them to get in touch with you for
Gracias.
anything that people want to build, buildings, homes, their homes, projects. This is a great man, to be in touch with.
Thank you.
For us to wrap it up, in 2 minutes, because I know you're going to jump in a call here in a bit. Give us your insights. Give us some philosophy. 2 minutes of pure philosophy, man. The mic is yours. Let's
Well,
to wrap it up.
this event, you doing what you're doing is gives me a lot of hope and a lot of inspiration. Also, it makes me see that it's already happening. That this vision that we have, that we share, is already happening. It's a matter of time that we will be able to see it materialized in the new things that we are imagining. But this in itself is that. It's like we're practicing sharing, we're practicing communication. And in my experience, one of the reasons why I decided to change the game and not do Wave anymore and do Weave as a platform, so that we could have easier ways to collaborate, to create interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary groups, more like a movie, more like when people get together to create a movie and come out from the context of architecture and construction, because that, again, when you're going to think about construction, it's architecture has to be present, and then a builder that's most of the time doesn't understand the essence of the project, and then everyone kind of becomes a player that is very fragmented in a fragmented vision. Whereas in this case, what we're trying to do is what we are already doing is weaving relationships of multidisciplinary people, no?
I love it.
And as we are able to do that, we will continue to see the impact that we're already creating.
Yeah.
So it gives me a lot of joy, that it's already happening. And all my life, I've been preparing for this, and especially when I left Mexico at 28 to find answers.
Yeah.
And now the answers are happening. Now they're not in the future anymore; it's in the present. And as we continue doing it, it will eventually continue to show how that's possible. And anyone who wants to collaborate, I think the first movement is really to go in, because I've seen many wonderful people, creative people, wanting to do things and doing things, but whatever happens that doesn't allow the whole thing to express itself is because there's some correction or some fine tuning in the inside territory, and that's very scarce still. We love to think about columns and spaces and things, and yeah, we love that, but those are expressions of how we're really living, inhabiting in this internal territory. So
Indeed.
that's what we're going to be doing also, no? Creative things around that topic too.
Let's go create and weave.
Yes.
Right. Let's go create and weave, and let's make it happen, brother.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Félix.
We are making it happen.
Yes.
And I have to say, I really appreciate your time. I know
you,
you're
brother.
gonna have to go here for a bit, but my brother.
Gracias.
Appreciate it. That's it.